Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This lesson is geared towards those of you who feel stuck in that beginner phase. I know we all went through that where we only play 3 notes for a chord and we want to change it up and add more notes, but we don't know how. So what I'm going to do is structure this lesson on the C major scale, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and back to C. And what I'm going to do is basically imagine that the song that you're playing is in C major, and for each of the notes of the scale I'm going to show you a basic gospel chord substitution that you can use as opposed to the 3-note chord. All right, so let's start with C major. So when we're playing C, usually the chord that we play on our right hand would be a C major in this triad form. And the way that I want you guys to think about it, the way that it helped me the most, is not think about the name like C major 7, C major 9, all of that. That can come later, all that theory stuff. I just want you guys to memorize the figure or the position of your right hand, or basically like the steps to take for playing that new chord. So for C major, what I did was you just move this note C down a half step, and that's right there's a basic substitution that you can use. This is already one chord that is different that you can use for C major. Now if you want to enhance this a bit more, all you have to do is add this D note right here and you get a C major 9. Then later on, I know you guys understand a bit of inversions, but if you don't, an inversion is when you basically change the figure by moving the last note on the left side or on the right side. You basically move it over to the next octave. And you can experiment by moving these notes, and that's how you get different voicings. All right, but let's just focus on that root position. So this is one substitution that you can use for C major. Instead of playing this, you play this. Now for D, usually we play D minor in a song in the C major scale. D would be D minor. What I do is move this note D 2 half steps down. That right there is one substitution that you can use for D minor. You can enhance it a bit more by adding E to that right hand, and you get a D minor 9. A different way of thinking about these chords is, let's say that first substitution we did for D minor, it's basically just playing an F on my right hand and playing D as the bass. Now this next note, E has a couple of different substitutions. It depends on the song and it depends on the melody of the song. Usually for E, what is played is E minor. One substitution can be moving this E 2 half steps down and you get E minor 7. A different substitution for E, it depends on the song, like I said before, is simply playing a C major over E. It depends on the song, like I said. A different substitution as well is playing E major. Usually when we play E major in the C major scale, it's usually as a passing chord before landing on A minor, right? But right there, those are the 3 substitutions that you can use for E. E minor 7, C over E, which is usually used as a half step before going to F. I mean, as a passing chord before going to F. For example, C, C over E, then F. And then the third substitution is an E minor. All right. And this E minor, you can even enhance it a bit more by adding the dominant 7 which is D. All right, so let's move on to the next note, which is F. For F, we usually play F major. This one is similar to the one we did for C major in that we moved F down 1 half step, and that's one substitution. We can enhance it a bit more by adding the second note of F, which is G, and we get a F major 9. Now, there is one other substitution that you can use for F, but it's really specific to the song. And it would be when you play a G on the right hand and the F on the left hand. So the song, an example would be if you're playing, I guess some choruses of a song would do something like you're in C, and then you're going to F, and then you play that G over F, and then it would go to like a E, then an A minor, D, G, and C. But that substitution, G over F, is very specific to the song. So be careful when using that substitution for F. So right there you have those two. You have F major 7, F major 9, and G over F. Now the next note is a G. G, we usually play regular G. A substitution that you can use, simply adding that 9, which is A, to the chord, and you fill it up a little bit more, right? A different substitution, which I actually use a lot, and it works most of the times for G, would be playing F on my right hand, and G as the bass. So it's usually used when you're going, it's like a suspended chord before landing on G. Something like this. You're playing C, F, and then you play F over G, and then you play G, or G9 in this case if you want, G add 2 I mean, and then you're back to C. Alright, so those are two substitutions that you can use for G. G major with the ninth or the second, or F over G. Now the next note, A, we usually play A minor. This one is similar to D minor in that we take A, move it down 2 half steps, and we get a minor 7. I know this one is common. Most of you guys use this voicing for A minor, which is basically a C major over A. You can enhance this a bit more by adding B. It depends on the type of quality that you're trying to give to the chord. And then a last substitution for A minor would be playing G on my right hand and A on the left hand. So usually, let's say a progression of 4, 5, 6 would be something like that. I'm playing G and A. And you can resolve it by going back to A minor. You see, it's like a suspended chord before you resolve it to an A minor. Right? So the last note of the scale, which is B, this one is a little bit different because usually in the diatonic scale or the diatonic chord for B would be a B diminished, but we have various options. Usually in CCM songs, when we play B in the C major scale, we would play a G on the right hand. So that's one chord substitution for B. It's just basically a G over B. Now, if you want, it depends on the song obviously, but if you're on that 7, which is B, you can play D minor, and that gives you a B minor 7 flat 5. And this is usually used in a 7-3-6 progression, which would be something like that, right? It's usually used when going from the 1 to the 6. So something like that. Very simple. So that 7, when we use it with this substitution, is only used for that case. All right, so let's go through all of the chord substitutions so that you can get a better idea of how they sound all together. So for C, D, E, you can play a C over E or E minor or E minor 7 or E major. Then for F, you can play F major 7 or F major 9. Then for G, we can play G add 2 or F over G. Then for A, we can play A minor 9 or a G over A. Then for B, we can play a G over B or a B minor 7 flat 5, which we can use in combination with E to go to A. Then we're back at C.